Hello everybody. It is about 10 o'clock at night. I'm not ready to go in yet. Get my camera to focus here. It's going to be hard. So I decided to start working on my greenhouse that I saved from the trash. So I am removing the seam. I have stole my wife's sewing thread remover, the seam remover. So I'm going down and removing the threads on all of this. It's going to take me quite a while to get all the way up around this whole thing. I'm going to remove this whole panel. The threads are just too rotten. They're old and they're rotten, and so that's just anytime you go to zip up the door, it's just ripping off. I did sew it up, tried to sew it up, and it just, as soon as I got it sewed up, then when I go to zip it, it just rip in a new place. So I am going to create a frame around this and just put the front panel and the back panel, attach it to the frame, and then I will attach the piece that goes over the top to the frame. And what I am hoping to do is create enough slack in it so that it won't be so tight and it won't have so much pressure on the zippers. I'm going to try to get this front panel taken off tonight, and I'm going to try to build the frame tomorrow. Alright, so I got about that much on the bottom. Not that much done. Mosquitoes are starting to irritate me. I'm going to just keep working at this. I'm listening to North Shore Preparedness's live stream right now, and he's on a break, so for a couple minutes. So I figured I could flip my phone over and get a little clip for my video. I better get back at it and try to get this done tonight. So just a quick update. I did get the front panel off. It's what a mess. It's lying right over here. I am going to sew the zippers back and I'm going to use feed bags, the threads off of feed bags for my chickens and my rabbits. I will make the frame for the front right along here. I have a good idea of how I want to do it, and I am going to use just scraps of lumber that I milled on my sawmill. So there's some birch lumber I milled. Most of those are going to be for flower beds or for garden beds, raised garden beds. Most of that lumber. Take you back over here. To my lumber yard. Just I save pretty much everything, even if it has the live edge. I try to save everything because most of that is a chicken coop. It's my plans for most of this lumber, but I can come up with enough lumber out of this stack to fix that greenhouse also. And that didn't cost me anything but my time and a few pennies worth of gas. And there's the siding for my chicken coop. Here's some more siding for building or a chicken coop. Yep. big plans. There we have it. I have it all put together, all sewed back up. I used feed bag thread, and I know the sew job is not spectacular, but it's enough, it's good enough that it works. I am not a seamstress. So it's the zippers work again, and they're not ripping out anymore. Now I will get in here and be able to get some things planted. Let it get warm. Cool, I'm happy. It's all done. It's just a frame around the metal frame, and affixed the plastic over the top. And all set. That works out really good. And just kind of used it to boards that I had laying around to hold the plastic in place. Hopefully it works. I'm kind of excited. Just to recap, this greenhouse was given to me. I didn't pay anything for it. It was actually going to the dump. And somebody asked me if I wanted it so that they didn't have to spend the money to take it to the dump. And I said sure, I would take it. It had rips in it along the seams of the zippers here were ripped out, and it had a couple, the seam here on this corner was ripped about 3 feet up, and the back wall, half of it was, the seams were, the threads were all broke out on this back wall here. This whole corner and about halfway up the roof was all ripped out. So I originally was just going to sew it back together, but as I was sewing it, it wouldn't stretch around the frame, the metal framework for the greenhouse. So I ended up taking the stitching out of the front panel, the back panel. So it made it into basically 3 pieces, and I built a frame that I could sandwich the 3 pieces back together into one unit. The cost that I have in on this, other than my time, I know everybody's time is valuable, but this was kind of a fun project for me also. And the only thing I actually paid for were the screws that I used to hold the framework together. And so I probably have at the most $5, maybe $6 worth of screws into this project. The thread that I used to sew the zippers back on for the door here, that is out of feed bags. The threads for the feed bags. So I'm thinking that as things get more and more expensive, the way things are getting, we're going to need to learn to be more resourceful, and we need to think about stuff that's getting thrown away, finding another use for it. Remember the stories from the Great Depression, where people who came out of the Great Depression, they would save everything They would fold their aluminum foil. They would wash the aluminum foil and save them. My grandma used to save every butter, every plastic container that held the butter. She used to have those piles, all of the cottage cheese containers. She had stacks of them. And she would save every one, because you never knew when you were going to need one. I think we've kind of forgotten that aspect today. We have a throwaway society. We're just way too, our society is way too eager to throw stuff away rather than try to find another use for it. I save everything. It's crazy. So that hand cart right there, that was something else I rescued from the dump. Because the handle used to have a handhold right here for, that broke, so they were throwing it away. I originally grabbed it because it's aluminum, but then I just couldn't bring myself to tear it apart to recycle it for 25 or 30 cents that they would give me. And I have used that for 20 years now. I mean, my goodness, I grabbed that in 95. I got that. 95 or 96. I've had it forever. Something that, when I was doing this project, that was just something that I was thinking about a little bit more, and maybe if more people thought about it, be a little bit better prepared when prices get so expensive you can't just run out and buy something new. I hope everybody has a nice evening, a wonderful day, whatever time it is. Thank you for watching Not So Remote Alaska. I appreciate it.